Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another Walking Dead video. So I want to break down the trailer for Dead City. This trailer is for the finale of Dead City, and I'm also going to combine some predictions that I do have for this episode, because I do have some predictions as to how this could end. I actually have a scenario that I would really like to see play out. It's kind of a theory idea, I guess. I guess it's sort of in line with a prediction, and I'm hoping it happens, but I don't know if they'll do that. So before going any further, obviously make sure to be a subscriber if you do want to get all my Walking Dead content like this. And definitely go follow me on Twitch if you want gameplay and all of that. The link for that should be in the description of this video. So yeah, I hope to see you guys there. But let's actually get into the first shot here. So we see buildings here. Obviously, it says on the next, The Walking Dead Dead City. And we see a lot of buildings here. I guess it's the early morning sort of thing, because I do think a lot of this episode takes place during the day. And I think right now it's nighttime, or at least I guess obviously early morning as we start this episode. And a lot of time has passed on this show. I will say that. There's been quite a bit of time that has passed, because in each episode, sometimes it starts off in the morning and then all of a sudden it's nighttime and then it's morning by the end of the episode. And like last week's episode 5, I believe started off at nighttime, but all of a sudden it was during the day for a lot of it. So Maggie was in the sewers during the day the entire time, but by the end of the episode, it's nighttime again, right? So there's been a lot of time. I think they've been in New York for like a week, I would say. It's been like 6 days to a week. So I like the fact that they do actually manage, the day and night cycle, because like I know in previous seasons of The Walking Dead, it was never really managed that well. Like I know it was just sort of like whatever they wanted to do, whatever was a part of the story. And you just kind of had to guess if a week or 2 weeks, a month passed kind of thing. But you can sort of feel it on the show. It does feel like genuine. It feels like there has been this amount of time that has passed on the show. But yeah, really incredible shot here. Then we have the shot here of Maggie and Negan running on the building together. So this is what I do find kind of interesting here. So yeah, again, we have a close-up here of Maggie and Negan. They're together here. I find this very interesting because of where episode 5 ends off. Episode 5 ends in a way where it really seems like Ginny is like right there, right? Like Ginny is like right there ready to tell Negan that Maggie lied about all of this stuff. The Croat never took any of the grain or anything. They just hid the grain. They still have it. Maggie has just basically lied to you the entire time and made a deal with the Croat, basically. I mean, I guess she never really made a deal, but the Croat basically said, like, if you want Hershel back, you need to give me Negan. And so that's why she went to go and look for him right away, right? And so that's probably why she knew that he was safe, and that's why overall she's not necessarily freaking out over the whole entire thing. Obviously, she's probably concerned a little bit, but yeah, so that was her plan all along. But it's weird because you have Maggie and Negan together here, which kind of indicates that, I mean, I don't know, does something go down where they I guess, forgive each other? Or not forgive each other, but Negan's like, no, I understand. Because if there's a moment like that, honestly, that would upset me, just because the reveal at the end was so amazing. Like, it really was so amazing. I want the direction for season 2 to be Maggie versus Negan. Like, they're both on opposite sides now for sure. Because to me, what I really want, and I'm going to talk about it in this video, I want Negan to be a villain again. I really do. Like, there's been this gray area. There's, and I think that should still stay, because there's going to be people on Negan's side. But I would like it to be like you don't really know who to side with, because you agree with Negan and you're on his side now. You see his story. But you also, maybe some people agree with Maggie, and then you're also on her side as well, right? So which side are you on? Because before, during the Savior arc, it was pretty clear. You were on Maggie and Rick's side, right? Like, that was the side you were on. Negan was the villain. Now, we've seen so much from him since then, though, and we see he is just a human being, right? And just like the Marshal said in episode 5, like last week's episode, it's not so black and white anymore. It's definitely a lot more gray. And so I would like them to explore that concept, explore that idea here, and make Negan sort of a villain, or not really necessarily a villain, but just don't make him on Maggie's side. Like, they both don't really like each other. Literally just separate them and just have them against each other. I think that would be awesome. And so to have them together, it's just a little off. I'm just like, why are they together here? What happens at the very end of episode 5, or I guess technically it would be early episode 6, that causes them to still kind of be together. Ginny's not here, so does Ginny just not say anything at first? Is that what it is? And so there's still that tension there. Maggie is still a little concerned about a few things. The only thing I can really think is that Maggie somehow gets to Ginny first and is able to sort of, I don't know, keep her away from him, and this way Negan just has no idea that Ginny is there. And that could explain some shots that we'll get to in a second here. Really amazing shot here of the city. I noticed that for episodes 4 and 5, I do think they cut down on the budget a little bit. I mean, I guess every episode is like 12 million, I believe, but a lot of those episodes were in the sewers, and there was still some really incredible shots, but it looks like they could have averaged it out a little bit so that the finale had just a much bigger budget, because we're seeing a lot of shots like this, and there wasn't any shot specifically like this in previous episodes. Like this right here, you can see specifically so much of the city. You can see roads, you can see buildings. I think this shot actually continues on so that you can see like the actual water and stuff, and you can see that they are on an island. So it's really cool. We have a shot here of the Croat. I do wonder if this is going to be his final episode. We'll have to wait and see. My prediction is, yeah, I do think the Croat's likely going to die in this episode, because I don't think he's the main villain overall. I think he's just sort of a way to get Negan over here on the island, and I think Negan in the end is going to be the main villain for season 2. We then have this shot here of Negan, and there's also this one here of Maggie. It looks like they're both sort of disagreeing with one another. There's some tension building, it seems. I think at this point, again, I really do wonder if Maggie somehow got to Ginny first, and at this point here, Negan is just sort of like a little suspicious. Like, there's something you're not telling me. There's something off here. And I wonder if he's sort of like, he's just sensing that vibe, and Maggie knows that he is suspecting something. And so that's why we have some tension here building between both characters. We have Maggie here running across here. I don't know if she's running away from Negan. Not entirely sure of the context of this scene, but yeah, we do have that. We have this shot here of Maggie, and I do believe her and Negan are together in this scene. So I think they're just both killing walkers together. There's this one shot here of this ambulance, and yeah, again, just more shots like this outside are just amazing. Like, just do so much of this, and it just improves the watching experience. It really does. We then have the Dama here, and she's in her exact room that she was in episode 5. She could be speaking with the Croat. You do gotta wonder if she's actually speaking with Negan. Maybe this is towards the end of episode 6. Like, that's very possible. We have this shot here of Hershel, who is obviously still held captive. And that's the big question of the episode, right? Does Maggie actually get to Hershel here? Like, we're going to find out. Like, it could be a cliffhanger that goes into season 2, but I say no. Like, I think my official prediction on this is that we're going to resolve this storyline here. Like, maybe Hershel dies. I don't know. Like, that could be the big shocking moment. Like, I know that was something that was sort of supposed to be, like, there's supposed to be some really crazy moment in episode 6, and I wonder if that's the moment. Probably not. I do think Hershel's going to live, but yeah, so we see Hershel here. He's likely going to survive, and I do think he will play a big role in season 2. It's kind of cool that he was kept away for season 1, because in season 2, I think he'll just get that much, bigger of a story here. We then have this shot here of Ginny, and again, I don't know where she is. She's looking in a mirror here in a car. Is she held captive here? Like, is that what's going on? It's just very, very hard to say. It really is. And that's one thing too, I will say about Ginny. She also can't talk, or she refuses to talk, right? So maybe she makes it to Negan, but she can't really say anything to him, right? And so he doesn't really understand what's going on. And so Maggie also makes it to Ginny as well. Like, they both make it to her, but maybe she's not able to express it properly, right? So Negan just doesn't understand right away. And then we have some shots here of Maggie and Negan, and they're walking on these beams here. Now it looks like they're actually fighting, because we have a shot here and they're both facing each other. And this is really cool because they're just walking on beams above just a bunch of walkers, and it really looks like they're fighting each other. Like, it literally looks like they are literally fighting each other here. So it's kind of cool. I wonder if at this point here, Negan has found out you were literally going to trade me for Hershel. Like, you were actually going to do that. Like, I came out here to help you, and you were actually going to do that. And then I wonder if a lot of stuff is going to come out about Glenn, because there's been some tension there built. There was some stuff mentioned in episode 1. This might be where all of that comes out here. And I think Negan at this point might just be done with Maggie. Like, I know it's kind of ridiculous to say because of what he did to Maggie, but like he's also sort of been kind of forgiving in a way, just sort of kind of understanding, because he was like in a position where he was like, I know what I did was so wrong. And I think he can just only do so much, you know, like he can try to help her out in many ways as he can, but it's just, if she's still trying to kill him, if she's still trying to do all of this stuff, like he just kind of has to put his foot down and be like, you know what, I'm done. Which would explain a lot of these scenes here with Maggie and Negan, because it looks like Negan chases Maggie down from those buildings. So it looks like they're really high up. There's probably a big reveal there, and then Maggie's trying to get away from Negan at this point. And then Negan's just like chasing Maggie down, because we have a lot of action scenes here where they're actually fighting each other. And that could explain a lot. We also have this one shot here of the Marshal. He's in a different outfit, so I don't know if this is towards the end of the episode and he's back in New Babylon, or maybe at the bricks or something like that. I don't get the context here. Maybe he's with the Dama. I mean, I really don't get the context here, because the last time we saw him, he was pretty injured and he was in that bus. So, I mean, obviously he's separated from Negan, so we'll just have to see how that plays out here. But yeah, pretty interesting shot. But we do have this shot right here of Negan, and just the look on his face overall here. I really feel like this is one of the final shots of the episode, or just of the season. And this is sort of my prediction for the season. I really feel like this season could end with Negan rising to power again and sort of becoming King Negan in a sense, right? Like, I actually wonder if, like, you know what? I might actually put that in the title of this video. It just feels like that's where they're going here. I really feel like he could become a villain again, because we know what the Dama and the Croat want, right? Like, they want Negan to join them. And for Maggie, I don't think she understands necessarily why they want him. For her, it's just, I just want Hershel. Like, I literally just want Hershel. So if you want him, sure, I'll trade you him for Hershel. Like, I just want my son back, right? And I don't think she's really thinking like, no, they actually just want him because they want to make him a leader. They want him to be a part of all of this here, which is like, does Maggie really want that? Does Maggie want Negan in that position? And it might even be a bigger position than he was in the Sanctuary. Like, the Sanctuary was so small compared to this. So my prediction right now, and is based off of some earlier reviews where I think they might have mentioned the Statue of Liberty. Like, we haven't seen the Statue of Liberty yet, and there's been a lot of mention of it. There, you know, like Negan has always wanted to see it. You know, his father like talked about bringing him there. So there's some sort of connection there. In episode 5, we see Negan literally playing with like this little figure, this little toy of the Statue of Liberty. So I feel like where this is going is in the finale of the first season here. Based off of some of the promo shots, the head of the Statue of Liberty could be on the ground. I could see Negan literally just like maybe standing on top of it, sitting on it. There's a shot like this here, and Negan has just sort of rose to power, and he is like an all-time leader sort of thing of, I mean, maybe not of the whole place, but of a certain thing. He has gained a lot of power. He has a lot of followers now. And that's sort of the cliffhanger for the season. And maybe Maggie sees this and, you know, she's just sort of at this point now, just like, I get my son back. I'm happy about that. But look what I created now. Look what I caused. And maybe she's crying. Like, literally, maybe that's how the show ends. I think that would be so epic. It would be so cool. I'd be so hyped to see Negan as a villain again for season 2. And then just where do you go? Because Maggie at that point is likely going to need some help. So what happens at that point? You know, I'm very, very excited to see. I mean, does she get help from Alexandria? Does she just get help from, I mean, maybe Alicia shows up, maybe Dwight or Sherry shows up. Like, they can really go in some really amazing directions here. And obviously, you wouldn't want them to do an all-out war part 3 sort of thing, where like, it's them versus Negan again. But there could be a lot more complexity to that, right? It might not be just that simple. There might actually be a lot more to that. So yeah, anyways, that's my prediction as to how the season's going to end. We'll have to wait and see. Definitely post your predictions down below for the finale of The Walking Dead Dead City Season 1. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.